Hello, folks. I'm the Red Red. This is Esoteric Ebb, and last we left off, I was talking about this game. I was talking about this game in comparison to Disco Elysium. It begs for the comparison, and honestly, I think that's a really bad idea for this game. The writing's not nearly as tight. It fails to understand your various stats here interacting in the same way Disco Elysium does. It fails to understand what made that interesting, in that all of your stats had uh, different different voices. They all felt different. While in this game, even though you have a fraction of the number of stats, they all feel very similar in that they're all saying more or less the same things. They just have different opinions. Um, so I'm going to make an effort here to stop comparing this game to Disco Elysium, because as much as it wants a comparison, each time I do so, each time it pops up and I'm like, well, it's asking for the comparison. Each time I do so, it's just like, well, okay, it's not nearly as good as the game it's aping. Um, the is this? Did we not pick this up? Flip the tome open. There are fine and handwritten letters scratched upon the pages. You can read these symbols, but they're in old draconic. Uh, the author name. Okay, we did read this. I thought this was our tome still. Um, so I'm gonna make the effort to stop comparing it, and because I think that may be a large part of why I have been down on this game since starting it, because it keeps asking for the comparison to Disco Elysium, and I keep doing so and going, okay, but it's not as good. Uh, and I really should judge this game more on its own merits. And hopefully it takes a moment here to, find its own voice. See a bird's nest nestled on the edge of a protruding stone tile. Got some eggs in it, and you spot something shiny below as well. It appears unguarded. Must be a gull's nest. Scary beasts, those gulls, but whoever made this nest isn't around, so could you imagine the goodies? Could be worth the climb out. With the cantrip Mage Hand, you could easily grab the contents of this nest from a comfortable distance. Uh, yeah, we'll wait until we have Mage Hand then. Um, Goblin wall art. The thing is, and I know I've just said I'm not going to compare it to Disco Elysium. The thing is, mechanically, it made so much. It did so much to ape Disco Elysium, very specifically with not only having this same mechanics, but moreover having the your skills be voices in your head that are all arguing with each other. Um, in Disco Elysium, they didn't argue with each other that much. They usually were. They had different opinions, but they weren't like, no, you're wrong, until you hit certain points. Where they would start saying that. But that was like mid to late game, where this game opens up with the voices in your head are just arguing with each other willy nilly. Um, but this game did so much to ape Disco Elysium that, in addition to like a couple of lines I noticed that I didn't actually call out, where it was just like, oh, this is a reference. This seems to be a reference to Disco Elysium. I can't be certain, but it seems like it is. That has prompted me to start seeing everything in reference to Disco Elysium. Like this wall art's not something special that Disco Elysium came up with, but it was a prominent thing that I remember from Disco Elysium, and this game has made me think about it so much that I'm now thinking about this in reference to Disco Elysium, where you have the interesting choice of um, what wall art you paint on that one particular wall, and the particularly funny interaction with Kim when you say "F the police," and he's like, "But we are the police." That now I'm thinking about something more interesting, and then I'm looking at this, and this is just someone scrawled a dragon on the wall. Okay, it's I want to compare it to Disco Elysium because it's prompted me to think about that, and this is not nearly as interesting. And that's one of the risks you run when you try to make yourself such a direct comparison. So, that out of the way. Again, going to try to stop doing that. I want to give this game a chance, and a green face is splattered across the facade, staring wildly towards a flaming sky and the dragon spread across it, or something like that. Can you call this art? What does it mean? It represents a devotion, albeit in an asinine way. The coin stands for all the fat loot the dragon brought to her people. You can get behind that. The fire is the soul, a boundary between the real and the heartful. What does it tell me about the state of Norvik? Nothing really. That goblins are artists? Take a step forward. The painted stone surface is smooth as you place your hand on the wall. This is no cheap dwarven rock. This is Gate-era architecture. The first of the 5 eras, when Jor crafted his realm and the gods fought to bring order. That was the Gate War. A legendary conflict between the beasts of Jor began the Fade era. Beasts of Jor, sentient folk, anti-Spellanian folk, most are gone. Old term, meaning before the closing of the gates. The closing term for the closing of the gates. Okay, well, we have advantage on this roll, but we roll double 3s, so focus falters. There's nothing to answer you. But something is there, beyond the silent hard stone. Try again tomorrow. So, yeah, even the talk about art is like, I'm not gonna do it. I'm just not gonna do it. It's sucking me in, and it's just something I want to do because, Disco Elysium is probably my favorite game. It's the game I evangelize. The one I try to get people to play all the time. More so than anything else. And it's just... So, seeing it referenced is like, well, now I want to talk about it. And that, the art part. Being the art cop. Arn, Kiosk Kid. We actually rolled well. He's level 1 child worker. Kid's working his ass off. We don't know his intellect. Oh no, his intellect is 11. There's the break between Constitution and intellect there, which confused me. He must be doing that optional weekend school. He'll go far in life with that attitude, but that fire under his ass must have been lit by something fierce. He's a jumpy fellow, survivor. Type of kid who's used to making it on his own. Something... Oh, that's the puff. That's a chimney, isn't it? No. I saw something puff there. A bucket. So, yeah, we can't take off the helm. This will give us strength, but minus to wisdom. Okay. So we have to do the same thing with Disco Elysium. One of the where you have to constantly swap out your stuff. Name of the tea shop is illegible. Tea shop. Okay, so this is the tea shop where we need to investigate. Amidst scorched marks and cracked masonry, you approach a doorway. There are several planks blocking the passage. The tea shop. Take a peek inside. A powerful force left these marks. Fastened with several nails, you also see a paper. Coin Lord's meet updated. City notice, no trespassing. The Coin Lord. This wasn't even something that we read or anything. It was just a thought in our head. So it's some dude. Does what include me? Perhaps not. Try touching it. As you do, the subtle ripples of blue energy appear around your gloved hand. It is sealed. As you move away your hand, the faint aura shimmers in dark translucent blue and then fades away. This feels like trouble. Just standing near the door makes it clear that there's a locking spell cast on it. Standard procedure for crime scenes. Rude to lock people out. Crime scenes should be public viewing. I don't know why Charisma has that thought. Remember that you are here on behalf of the goblins. You have still not spoken with their chieftain. Complete this quest, you should probably do that. Okay, so we need to find goblins. An empty barrel with some coins in it. We got bicycles here. A bike lane. One bike stands out to you. Is it our bike? Bikes are nice. Bike racks are stationed in many places around the city, usually in locales with lots of stairs. There's a stillness here, an uncommon sight at the heart of the city. This particular bike is yours. Chain lock? The rusty chain seems brittle, but it's wrapped so hard around the tire that it would be annoying to get off even if you had the key. Why would you wrap it like that? You should take better care of this magnificent bike. Wait, this is my bike? Yes, you fool, keep... Why did I have to ask that? We already knew it. It sure is. Best way to travel in Norvik, except of course on this godforsaken island fortress. Where's the key? Not here. Lose it? The key's not important. It's probably in the river. When exactly did I come to Stolstand? On 21st of March. It is, I remember it's the 22nd of March, meaning we're not local to the area. This is as far as you came. The hair on the back of your neck stands, and as you sense a sudden shift. Do I recall anything important? You chained the bike. You stood up. Then pain. Was I alone? No. Stumbled. I mean, we didn't, right? We were pushed. We weren't alone. We felt pain. So this is fundamentally wrong that we didn't, because stumbled means no one pushed us. But our intelligence is saying no one pushed us. So we should accept that, right? We broke the shit out of it. Out of what? Stop looking at the bike. Bikes are cool. You should ride your bike more. Who are you? No one we know. Halfway Bridge connects with the palace and the rest of southern Norvik. So this was where we were pushed? Well, no, this is where we fell down. We weren't pushed. Our intelligence said we were not pushed. An empty barrel. Actually readable posters. They're still kind of old. Place your eyes upon a series of papers. Getting out information to the people. How do you do it? One possible way, papers nailed on random walls. You'd be surprised how efficient it could be. Some of them are torn or illegible. If you catch... This seems illegal. Advertisement requires strict approval from the government. Tear them down. Rip them up. The flyer with the owl on it. This place would fix your ruins. Spell book. Waterlane View. 6 LW. It's a prayer book. And yes, this place would help with that. Grand opening. Stubborn Sphinx. I believe we saw that door. Opened a year or two ago. Faded Green Hammer. Axgalis, those who share the plight of the common folk. Gather your workers. Axgalis says, no gods above, no kings below, only folks. Useless sentimental garbage. Old faded posters. They're unreadable. Okay, we're looking for goblins, but apparently we can't talk to goblins. Old lady's apartments. Something's inside this old vase. Goblin Garden is ahead. Okay, let's... This pipe... Actually, this pipe looks like it just leads out here. Well, let's look at it anyways. Look down at the pipe. Crawl inside now. I'm done here. That was just too dumb. Shiny thing in the tree. Shard of Jor. Divine Shrine, where we can prepare spells. What other gods? I'm done here. We can pray. And contemplate our fall into the river. It was not an accident. You are not so clumsy. But the question here is not why you fell. So we dived intentionally. Because again, our intelligence told us that we stumbled. We were not pushed. Right? I know, I'm being facetious. Don't worry. If it fails his grip, there's no reason to appease him. If he retains it, you're wise to stay his ire. So the Coin Lord is one of those guys who, if he keeps his position, he's dangerous. If he doesn't, he's not. I mean, fairly straightforward. Nature seeps through the cracks. 18 here. Goblin gets shit done. Level 3 rogue. Highly confident, but craving a validation. Just look at the way he dresses himself. Doesn't work for himself or any ideal. The goblin devotes his life for his lady. No different from a religious nut. You find a goblin standing on the tip of Tolstad. His clothes are fit for a Reedsian trader, and his haircut is fit for an Akani nobleman, a superficial fellow. Behind him, a vast view of the mountain of River Torna. Goblin cares much about looks. You catch him immediately glancing at your outfit.
Huh?
Well, let me guess. You're the cleric? Taking you for granted, the goblin needs to learn humility. Yes, I am the cleric. That's me. He nods, looking tired and annoyed. I'm Snell, the runner and handler of the HWBT. Old lady's been waiting for you. The old lady must be his chieftain, the matriarch of his tribe. Greet the goblin kindly. This is the beginning of a great cultural cooperation and exchange. HWBT? Halfway's Bridge tribe. He seems surprised to have to explain that to you. Catch him under his breath whispering to himself something along the lines of, this fucking guy. Old lady? Lady of Below, the Dragon of Tolstad. Lady Sageleaf. She's been waiting for you. Nice to meet you, Snell. You raise your arm up in the air as one would when greeting an uncivilized tribal goblin. What the fuck are you doing? Cleric, that's... What are you doing? Don't you understand? I'm... Like, this was a tribal... This was... Where was the exact phrase? A traditional goblin salute? Simply stares at you. His expression speaks of pain. Please, cleric, stop it. Feel great shame. Scouring your mind, it becomes clear to you that goblins, in fact, do not have a cultural salute. So, we're just stupid. What you do remember, however, is a salute from an old Earth folk play, wherein goblins were played by green-painted humans who ran around with their arms in the air. Goblin looks around, clearly struggling to find the right words. Sleep deprived? Okay, right. Head down to the guardian throne, but once all this, you look like a human ship. And floating around the banks of the river, your uniform shows it. It's making a playful job, don't worry about it. Fell into the river. Give a shocked laugh. What, really? It's fine, somebody fished me up. Oh, lucky you, I suppose. Just dust yourself off. The dragon's waiting. Trust me, you don't want to disappoint her. Tell me more about this lady? Sure, for starters, she's the most powerful woman in Norvik. And considering there was an explosion yesterday right in the middle of her territory, it's about time you do your damn job, cleric. Okay, lead me to her. Good, but just to make it perfectly clear, some ground rules. Don't say anything stupid. Don't climb the trees. Stay away from the edges and, enjoy the garden, cleric. He's nervous. That makes you nervous. The dragon sounds dangerous. Keep track of her fangs. You look out over the river. The cold Oshkani wind seeps through the crack of your helmet. Earth be blessed is always with you. Follow him down the stairs. His railings follow the safety... Small, dank smell from below. So, caught on geometry. A druid, unbothered, moisturized, happy in her lane, focused on her work. Knowledge goes deep. Learn from her and her loneliness. At the top of her garden outlook, you see a strange creature hunch over. Underneath a large red hat, her drooping gaze slowly glides towards you. Not a hat. She's got an actual mushroom growing out of her skull. The elf drops a final piece of mushroom into the bowl on the table and gives you a creepy grin. So lean in and stare. Slowly, in an appropriately dramatic fashion, she widens her eyes to reveal piercing red pupils. And her grin widens even more somehow. Abort! Run! Leave! Ears, white hair, ashen hue, and those eyes. Elf, aren't they rare? The city holds many folk, but elves are both few in number and seldom intermingle with lesser races. But look at her. This is no elf of Ilium, which is an elven empire. The walking god is something to do with elves, but it's gone, so it doesn't matter. This is it's a dark elf. They're black. Uh, hello, elf. Your guttural chuckle leave her lips. The man delves into the garden, his sights set on the mysterious below. Are you that man? Where's her eyes dart back and forth? She on something? Am I that man? More or less. Creepy, is she trying to intimidate you? Somewhere between yes and no. Good. Do not see realms and categories. See the in-between. The elf stammers, or is that in a dialect? Elf does not much stammer as she tastes some words more than others. She turns around, her red eyes glimmering beyond a mist of spores. Call me Nassan. I'm an underling to Hierophant. Of course, a druid. Primal spellcaster, which is... Okay, so the 3 arcane schools are divine, arcane, or the 3 magical schools, 3 magical pillars are arcane, divine, and primal. That's the 3rd one. You're a spellcaster. She gives you a goofy smile and a nod. I spent my days handling primal forces, that which grows and decays. You know much of it? They went over the basics in the towers. The towers? Oh, your wizard school. Not a wizard. But you trained in a wizard tower? It's not a great name for it. It's really more of a library with an old lecture hall that smells like fungus. Fungus? Oh, I should visit. She lowers her gaze for what you realize is the first time since she raised it. I'd like to hear your tale, human. There is much to be learned from your folks in your settlement in this band. She speaks as though Earthfolk's 60-something years of civilization building is nothing but a footnote in her history books. I mean, a 60-year-old nation, especially when it is purely people that have moved. Like, it's not even like this nation fell apart and then was reformed. Literally, all of the people here have not been here. No one of the nation, none of the humans have been here for more than 60 years. That is a footnote in any history book. Like, our intelligence is really stupid there. How sustainable is your lifestyle? And you mean me in particular or my people? Both, or either. She's sending a puff of whatever. Our intelligence is trying to be smart again. Again, it's a joke in Disco Elysium. Your intelligence coming up with these, your encyclopedic knowledge coming up with these things that are not actually useful in the moment, they're just tangential information. And it's just biting the joke, but it's doing it without the funny bits and consistently. So it's both less funny and done more often. Which is, you don't usually want to tell a joke multiple times. And moreover, because the way it's been doing it spread out through these conversations, it's not like it's a joke. It's the same half-hearted joke repeated multiple times. Again, it's asked so much for the comparison that I have to just do it. I have to, especially once it bothers me, because this here bothers me, because I know D&D. Like I played 3.5. Most of these 5th edition things, they're improvements, they're iterations, but they're not fundamentally different. So like when you say send in, I know it's a spell that connects you to someone else. I'm aware of that. But for someone who doesn't know D&D, This is confusing. And the fact that the what you need here to understand this joke is to have played Disco Elysium and go, oh, this is the joke where your encyclopedic knowledge is just rambling off these unrelated things that are tangential only in that they have like one or two words in common, like contact Mike and contact Mike. Is just, I get it, but it makes me go, well, but how many people actually do get it? And how many people does this just look like a weird bug where they didn't bother to actually clean their references, and they instead said anytime you see the word sending, attach the probability that your intelligence will give you the sending thing because it might be in reference to the spell. And that's the problem I have with it, is that it's a joke that lands only if you're already familiar with another property. Completely unrelated to, not even like a previous game or a previous thing in the series, but literally a whole separate property. Which, you know, Disco Elysium was a big hit, but again, I wonder how many people actually played through enough, and specifically were the kind of person that did have high encyclopedia, which you need for this joke to fire off in Disco Elysium. Okay, I'm sorry. I know I'm just rambling, but the game keeps begging for it. Sustainable? We know, I mean, how do you replenish the resources? Okay, think about it. You focus on yourself, you can probably sustain yourself for a long ass time. Not what we're talking about. If you run out of shit, don't care what you're thinking. That's literally the opposite of what we're talking about. To keep one balanced with the primal forces of the land is the only way to live. Earth folk will eventually chew through this land and be forced to expand. I've watched your people for some time, from a distance. I'm not one to make judgments, that is for the earth and sea, but it worries me how few primal forces there are to keep you in bay. Ophidia has helped me keep the undersea from being overtaken by unbalancing powers. Demigods, fiends, celestials, your human arcanus, each creates a power that not only overtakes the primal, they do so with ease. That great warrior kind waged upon one another delayed it, but I certainly believe it is inevitable. Why would we think humans are nearly extinct? Like, didn't we just... Again, we've conquered this land within the last 100 years. Don't worry, nature always survives. Most often it does, but look at your so-called burned coast and those cursed lands in Diminoa. Nature makes it through most things, but there are forces in this world that can wring the life out of every band if it so wishes. Magic is not what it used to be, but she is wise to stay. We must stay vigilant. She keeps a deep and deliberate breath. Now, enough of complicated topics. Tell me, human, do you have a mate? Well? Your cheeks clench. No, not good. Calm down, this is not a hostile situation. Elaborate. Of course, I apologize if I was vague, human. I only mean most humans in the settlement group in pairs. I wonder if those of your kind do the same, form such long-term committed partnerships. I don't like either of these responses. Moreover, I don't like... So, we can tell, at least from our character's knowledge, we don't have amnesia, so the answer is no. But I don't want to say I'm married to my work, because... I don't... Are we like... Have we taken a vow of celibacy? I guess we've taken a vow of celibacy. I see. It is the same here, then. The path of Esoteric Guardian is to be left alone. You're never alone, even when it feels like you are. Elf starts adding some kind of oily liquid to her mushroom bowl. Strange substance, golden, perhaps some kind of undersea whale? If this old elf can guide you in any way, make it so. How could you do such a thing? To prove attunement requires years of training. Let's just not. What do you know about the tea shop? Only what the roots whisper to me. We must delve deep, human. Something rotten happened that day. The green quakes. They fear what's to come. They whisper. What do the goblins whisper about? That the city is at fault. That Lady Sageleaf should take over. The usual. Oh, do they whisper anything useful? You do not speak with the trees often, do you? Stop and listen more often. So, were you here when it exploded? No, I was much further below. What do you think happened? I will not deliberate on things I have no knowledge about. Okay, thanks. That's it. Stomach twists. Beware her illusion. Wait, what? Oh, okay, we can't. I was like, I saw that this refreshed, like it became available again when we sat still for a moment. I had noticed before we couldn't redo it, but now that we sat still for a moment, it was like, it appeared, and I was like, well, okay, now are we allowed to? But no, the answer is still no. The dragon herself. Something is very wrong. Her eyes are striking. She wields power you can only dream of, yet her actions betray her nature. Evil good? Is selfishness for one's own tribe a defining trait? You approach the throne. The sprites flutter. Roots reach far below, its branches holding up the dirt ceiling above. On the throne sits a tiny goblin, her smirking as bright as it is threatening. Eyes follow you with an intensity, reminds you of a certain pale man. So this is the dragon. Yes, I can see it. Her glare is horrific. Cleric of Norvik, of earth and river. Her shrill voice echoes out through the chamber. She's talking to you. You're the cleric. I was assured by your masters, the top brass of the palace itself. Words are Her words are tainted in disdain. Her voice causes you to shiver. They told me a cleric of the highest standing would arrive within the hour. So tell me, human. Dominion, she has control here. Why am I sitting here waiting? It's not that late. It's only been like a day. An immense presence. You have no power here. Every word you say here could have a profound impact on this quest of yours. I had an accident. Yes, I know about your little trip down the river. That is no excuse. Okay, so don't respond. That's I literally died. She clicks her tongue behind a set of sharp teeth. No excuse. Whatever. I'm dancing on a fine line. Hers is a frightful presence. Brace your entire being as you meet her glare. Trembling innards, you resist. She lifts her chin. You stand. Good. She's not impressed, just happy you didn't completely lose your mind. Dragon leans on her armchair, letting out an exhausted groan. It is vexing to watch my streets descend so far. Are you even aware, cleric? A local business caught up in an inferno in the middle of the day, right on Pillar Road. My road. Which she says that causes you to tremble. And yet, Magistrate Darrow, she spits out the name like it's a curse word, he alone believes the Halfway Bridge tribe does not have jurisdiction over this particular location. She appears to have been stewing over this annoyance for some time. And where exactly is the tea shop located? It is, or was, rented out of the corner of the central fort, just above the holes next to the pillar. The holes, common slang for the central spire of apartments in Tolstad. Lower ones are less fancy. She snaps her fingers toward the goblin to her right. So she snaps at this goblin over here, and Snells interjects here. That means it's part of the core foundation of this island fortress. Therefore, the property is legally an underground rental unit, lady. My people have been handling that damn crow's contract for years. And no, suddenly the entire unit goes up in flames, with my people no longer have the right to enter the premise, to deal with it, to clean up even. No, suddenly it's the city's business, and we should keep our nose out of it. Corruption, plain and simple. I'm just here to do my job, lady. Good, then we're in agreement on that at the very least. And don't get me started on the actual effect this has on my people. Snell approaches the roots and takes a bow. Lady Sageleaf. The magistrate says it was an accident involving fireplace failure. They've yet to send anyone to actually investigate the scene. You want to check it out yourselves? Of course. Lady glances at him, makes a nervous face. He's embarrassed. The explosion occurred on the 21st of March, just past noon. 3 minor injuries were reported in the area. Luckily, foot traffic was low at the time of the incident, so despite the massive kaboom, no dead folks. Who were the injured? We've only managed to get one name in the chaos. A certain Frank, son of Frank, was said to have walked away with lesser burns. This sort of prefix used by Earth folks, a human most likely. Huh, that ain't a real name. He was apparently dressed in a fancy yellow outfit, whatever that means. It means his outfit was yellow, predominantly, and fancy. Beyond that, we have some conflicting accounts. One person said he looked like one of them dungeoneers you hear, a real adventuring man. Who did? Who looked like a dungeoneer? Another said looked to get out of trouble, heading right down the stairs to Water Lane. Either went down to the dungeon or over to Water Lane. Got it. And remember, if he's wearing yellow, he's got style. Frank, son of Frank? Oh, the goblin knows it's fakes, but it's their only lead. Really? Yeah. Dungeoneer. Okay, so this Frank is a dungeoneer. I don't know how we know that. Looked like a dungeoneer. Okay, so hearsay. Down to Water Lane. Fancy yellow outfit. Reesian fashion. He was inside at the time? Doubt it, considering the state of the building. Why was he there? We don't know. Annoyed to have to answer that question. Where is he now? We don't know. Do you know anything? The goblin does not respond, although one of the militia members mentioned him calmly walking away down the stairs. Maybe down to the crossing or somewhere. We don't know. Anything else? Theories, but we need proof. The unveiling has begun. Secrets and ashes. Corruption, madness, politics. Bureaucracy wears her down. It's clearly the work of a rogue spellcaster. Isn't there an anti-magic task force we can call for? Why, yes, there is. You. Okay. I formally declare a joint venture. Halfway Bridge Tribe shall investigate the tea shop. No creature, foul affair. A goblin. Finally have the opportunity to keep our mouths shut. So she looks at us with a grim expression. Goblin is worried. Her hope is that you step up and take on this investigation properly. Her fear is that you'll screw it up legendarily. Snell. She's gonna assign him to us. Catch a Goblin trying to grin. Oh, he's happy by the compliment. I thought he was going to be upset by being assigned to us. I want you to represent the tribe in this venture. His face lights up. Goblin and Cleric, together you have access to both upper and lower toll staff. We're going to have this pretty boy round. Why is Charisma upset at having something pretty around? Whatever. He did not expect this. A new member to the party. He ignores you. Mystery of the tea shop shall be uncovered. Can we just finish here? Like, can we just stop talking? And I don't even mean like them stop talking. I mean us stop talking. Every single choice here that I mostly did not want to click on. I visit the tea shop entrance. It was shut by esoteric decree. Ask coin load for the passphrase. Okay. None of those options were to tell us where the coin lord is, so they weren't actually useful. It was all things I already know. Which is like where the tea shop is and what we need to do. The one thing I wanted to know was not a choice there. Sacred River fights against the Red Rocks. So... Oh, what's this? Overgrown, ancient, sort of interesting. Snail statue, whatever god of symbolism this once denoted. Time has ground it down. It's a monument to nothing now. It's cold. Bridge of spiral. Following it, you feel the marking of the sculpture's pick, but they are smoothed out, as if produced not by mortal hands, but by magical precision. You realize this was most certainly an esoterically constructed art piece. Runes? Symbols do not mean... Okay, so we need to comprehend language for this. We need Mage Hand for grabbing the egg. And we need to wander around until we meet the Coin Lord. I mean, like... Centerpiece of Norvik. Pillar of Jor. Esoteric Relic. No one's been able to make use of them. Why is this a symbol of Earth's conquest? This predates that, right? Not much else I can do with it. Highly magical rock left over from time before time. How many of these pillars exist? 8. Technically 4, depending on which scholar you ask. That makes them less interesting. Fact is, no one's managed to make use of them. Looks a bit broken. Pillars indestructible, one's under heavy siege. What kind of parable would be capable of damaging this? Gods. Can I make money off this? No way. It's a bit of a tourist destination, but most people have seen one. So what do I do with it? Nothing. You can focus on it. Power. Let's touch it. It's a magical object. You're gonna give us disadvantage, but we're still gonna do it. Wow. So, failed with advantage and succeeded with disadvantage. Close your eyes. Shape your mind into an arrow shooting out towards the esoteric force. Find the rhythm of Jorm's realm. Hear his voice. Cold rock of the pillar turns warm in your palm. You've marked it with your spirit. Marked it? What? You're unsure. You feel like there are more spots you need to investigate. Warm and deep. Goes further down and far up. We've learned something. We must keep looking. Soon the pillar's secrets will be revealed. You understand plainly, there's more to this pillar that you need to investigate. In time and further below. So, it's a pillar that pierces the world. So I'm gonna assume that it's fast travel up and down. No, do not. Not just... Let me get this clear. You find yourself out on Pillar Road. You see a tree in the bin. It's been out there for God knows how long. It's done. Too late. You don't know exactly what's going on here in this world of ours, but you don't need to lower yourself this way. Taking stuff is great, but you can't just take a half-eaten pastry out of the trash, man. Ignore the voices. This looks like it might lead up somewhere of significance. Great Perch. Central Temple. Huh? King? All who pass are mine to keep. Huh. This doesn't look like where I want to go. So I'm gonna pop back out and I'm going to go ahead and put a little break here. We've gotten our first party companion. I wonder how many there are. In the screenshots, I see, in addition to this goblin here, I see one other person. So I'm going to assume it's just the three and that's your lot. But I don't really know for sure. I don't know if it'll expand later and those are just the two main ones you get. I don't know if you're just locked to two and those are the first two really in this area. But we've picked up someone and that can only be good, right? I say after our last roll was something he was giving us disadvantage on. In any case, if you've enjoyed this Let's Play so far, go ahead and leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you next time where I think we'll probably level up. See you there.